I'm Michelle, and here we go. Om Hatha Yoga Nustasanam Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So just the reminder that the practice of yoga is to quell the meanderings of the mind. The asana stuff, the physical work, is great. It keeps us elastic and loose and able to sit for longer in meditation. But the goal is to quell the meanderings of the mind. So I'm going to try some music today. I'm going to press play. And we shall begin. On hands and knees, we'll start with cat-cow. So inhale. Your hands are about hands width apart. You're going to release your toes. Inhale, lift the hips. This is cow. Your hips are in a dog tilt. Exhale, round. And inhale. The drishti, the gaze, is at the nose. It helps concentrate the practice. Allows us to be more in the present rather than thinking of lunch or the next item on the to-do list. Though I hope your to-do list has gently decreased a bit being around the house. Exhale, tuck the toes under and find your way into downward facing dog. Now, if this is your first movement of the day, I would urge you to bend the knees more before just hiking them toward the floor, the heels toward the floor. Maybe you bend the right knee, look onto your left armpit. Get into the calves. Bend the left knee and straighten the right leg. Then draw both heels down, lifting your navel toward your spine. So there's a feeling of drawing your belly button all the way in toward your spine. Inhale, gently walk your feet to your hands, or your hands to your feet, or both. And just hang forward for a moment. Maybe hold either elbow. Shake your head no, nod your head yes. And roll on up to standing. One vertebra at a time. Roll your shoulders back. Roll your shoulders forward. And here we go. Surya Namaskara A, our sun salutations. Inhale, reach the arms up. Full inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Hands toward the floor. Now, if they don't touch the floor, no big. You don't have to stop. Just place your hands in your ankles, your shins, wherever they can go, but just so that they're not dangly. On the inhale, lift your heart, lift your chest, lift your kneecaps. So you're in this halfway position. Bend the knees now, hands are flat. Walk your feet into push-up position, upper push-up position called plank. So I'll show you 3 different versions of this next move. We're going to keep our chest nice and wide. If you know that you can just bend your elbows, hover in chaturanga, then roll up over the toes. Fantastic. Otherwise, you're here in your plank. You can bend your elbows for a sec and come to your stomach for a low cobra. Or you can just come from this, bend your knees, come all the way to the floor immediately. All right. So exhale, bend the elbows. Upward facing dog or cobra. Knees are off the floor if you're in up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll breathe there 5 breaths. 1. We're practicing being present. So eyes try to stay open toward the navel. Like giving your brain something to really latch onto. Other than the pain or the triumph or the loneliness or the boredom or whatever you might be experiencing outside of your mat. On the exhale, you're going to bend the knees, look to your hands. Exhale, gently walk or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale, the heart lifts, the chest lifts. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come on up. I'm going to hit the thing. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, right away, reach up. Exhale, fold in half. Swan dive forward, lift the kneecaps, hands toward the floor. Inhale, heart lifts, chest lifts. On the exhale, keep the eyes past the mat. Walk into your plank position. Bend the elbows. Upward facing dog or cobra. This is cobra, the knees are on the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll breathe here 5 breaths. 1. If I was adjusting, I would take my hand and maybe place it on the tailbone, the top part of the tailbone, the lowest part of the sacrum, and really draw it down underneath you so you feel like you've got a rounding there. We'll call this 4. 5. Empty out the exhale, bend the knees, walk or lightly float your feet to your hands. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, maybe it gets easier to fold each time. Come on up to standing and hands down. That's why we do this sun salutation so many times, just to keep the experience of opening the body more and more and more each time. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale. If you're feeling fancy, you can bend the knees, look past the mat, try to lift the feet off the floor, and jump right into your chaturanga. Good. Bend the elbows, roll over the toes. Upward dog, lift, lift, lift the knees off the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll breathe here. 1, 2. The floating ribs are headed toward each other. 3, 4, 5. Bend the knees. Gently walk or float your feet forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Come on up. Exhale down. Last time. Inhale. Reach the arms up. And swan dive forward, lifting the kneecaps. Don't forget the knees. It helps also delineate that muscle above, which is really nice. Lift the heart and the chest. Bend the knees. Now, if you're learning to jump into that position, you can lift the feet gently off the floor. Just experiment. It takes a lot of belly work, a lot of breath work, and then walk both feet back into your plank position. Your shoulders are over your wrists. Really inwardly rotate the thighs. Bend the elbows. Up dog or cobra. Lift off the floor. Downward facing dog. Eyes on the navel. Breathe. 1. You can shake your head. You can take whatever you need to in the beginning of the posture, but make sure you give yourself some room to just settle in. Finding effortless effort, the stillness in each pose. Look to the hands, bend the knees, lightly walk or jump your feet forward. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Surya Namaskar. Bend the knees. Let's take chair position. So you're bending your knees as though you're sitting in this little chair, but you're not letting anything slouch. Reach your arms up. Soften in the ribs. So yes, reach up, and yes, root down. Exhale, fold in half. Hands to the floor, nose toward the knees. Inhale, chest lifts, heart lifts, knees lift. Look up. Bend the knees, walk into plank or lightly jump to chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. We're going to take the right foot all the way through the hands. Now, some of my students need a little help. That's totally fine. You put your left knee down. You grab your right leg and draw through. Warrior 1. Virabhadrasana 1. So the back foot is on the floor. The hips are going both toward the front of your mat. Really strong left leg. Arms are up. Take the second side. So either come through the floor. You can always come into cat-cow for a moment. Take your vinyasa. Upward dog and downward dog is the vinyasa. Taking the left foot through the hands. Heel to heel line up. So just peek that your left heel is in line with your right heel. Warrior 1 on the second side. We're really squaring the hips. And breathe. Exhale through plank. Bend the elbows. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Eyes head back to the navel. 1. and 2. Lift the knees, 3. If you want to experiment by lifting all 10 toes just to see what needs to still be on the floor, what's light, bend the knees, look to the hands, walk or lightly jump the feet forward. Inhale, chest lifts, exhale, fold. Inhale, take chair. Stand tall, and again, inhale. This is about the time of the class. You're done with the sun salutations. Exhale, hands to the floor, nose toward the knees. Inhale, exhale, bend the knees, walk or float. Upward facing dog, lift, 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 downward facing dog. Right foot through the hands, left foot on its side. Those of you who are practicing at home, if I'm going too fast, just do 1 to like 3 of these, you know? Just take the slow, slow inhale, slow, slow exhale. Through the vinyasa, plank. Come to the floor maybe, low cobra. And come back through your knees, chair, a downward dog. Left foot through the hands, turn the right foot on its side. Warrior 1. And through plank. Bend the elbows. Upward dog. Downward dog. And we'll breathe there 5 breaths. 1. If you need to bend the knees, in fact, everybody should have like just a micro bend in the knees maybe so that the hamstrings don't get overworked. 4, 5. Let's take a little stretch. So take the right foot all the way through the hands. Come on to the left knee. Release the toe. Sit up really tall. You can take a little twist. You can take your elbows to the floor on the inside of your leg. Let the right knee open. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Inhale, exhale. Tuck the left toe under like you're going into crescent pose. Inhale. In fact, let's go into crescent pose for a moment. Crescent, both the hips are squaring to the front of the mat. The knee is bent, but the left heel is in neutral, parallel. Exhale. Come into plank. Come all the way to the floor. Low cobra. Through your knees, take your left foot through the hands and come onto the right knee. Stretching yourself forward. Nice stretch in the right hip flexor, right where it attaches. The taller you sit up, the longer the front of that hip flexor gets. Maybe you take a twist. Always trying to draw the navel into the pubic bone, navel into the spine. Exhale, come all the way to the floor, the hands to the floor. Let the left knee kind of open up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And inhale, tuck the right toe under. Really strong right leg. And we'll take crescent pose. Inhale, come on to the front of your mat. Inhale, stand up tall. Exhale, so we're gonna open up to triangle pose, Trikonasana. Right leg is straight, left leg is straight as well, but it's not a wide stance. We're gonna shift the hips to the back of the mat. Take the right hand to the right leg. Maybe it goes to the shin, ankle, wherever it goes. The traditional hold is with the index finger and the middle finger around the right big toe. We're gonna try to stack the left shoulder on the right. Yes, exactly. So if I was adjusting you, I would come and just tilt your left hip maybe a little to the sky. Yes, they're trying to be flush. There's this little dance between too high, too low. Stacking the shoulders. Opening the left side of the body. Don't forget about the legs. Don't forget about the navel. Reaching the right leg up. Gaze, the drishti, if the neck allows, is up to the left fingers. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, we're just gonna switch sides. So the toes just go to the back of the mat. Shift first, so come back up to your standing if you forgot to shift. I have a couple people here in the room with me. Shift the hips to the back of the front of the mat. Shift, shift, shift first. Take the left hand toward the left foot. Inhale the right arm up. And then we're inside the right side of the body. We're lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Breathe, 2. And be honest. One side may be very different than the other. So I have to be super careful. My left side is much more open than my right. I try to be aware of it. Inhale, come on up. Maybe make your stance a little shorter. Shift your direction again. You're facing the front of the mat. Left arm reaches up. Take your right hand and just glue the right hip back. Reach the left arm toward the front of the mat, and then the left hand's gonna go on top of the right foot, or maybe on the outside. Lifting the kneecaps, take your twist. Trying to stack the shoulders. Lift the knees, draw the belly in, and windmill the arms. So the left arm comes up, right arm comes up, and then you switch to the front. Now, I guess this is the back of your mat. Square your hips. Yeah, right arm reaches, reaches, reaches. And then take the right hand to the top of the left foot on the outside of it. Heel to heel line up. And then again, be really inquisitive. What's happening on this side? Maybe I just keep my left hand at my left waist. Maybe I change the gaze. Maybe the left arm travels all the way up to the sky. We're trying not to drop this right hip. We're not letting it go like that or anything. We're keeping it lifted. And windmill the arms. Inhale. Whoops. Bend the knees. And come to the front of the mat. I'm losing where my front of my mat is, but I think it's here. Inhale. Open up to warrior two. So the knee is over the heel. The left leg is super straight. I'm trying to keep my torso in the center, even though that knee is bent. And many of us, because it's hard, we let this right knee kind of droop in. Keep it over the heel. Inhale. Either the right elbow is going to go to the right knee, left arm reaches overhead. A couple of nice adjustments. If the neck doesn't feel so good or the shoulder isn't so happy there, you can just keep the left hand at the left waist. To make it a little bit more the traditional posture, you can take the right hand to the floor or to a block, and then the left arm goes overhead. We're trying to glue the right arm to the right leg. Inhale, exhale, pause. Change sides. So the left knee is going to bend, the right leg is straight. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Warrior two, torso right there in the center. Exhale again. Left elbow goes to the left knee. Right arm over the ear. You can gaze up at the right fingertips. You can take the right hand at the right waist. Whatever you're doing, locate all the energy, the strength from that exhale and from the belly. So the inhale lengthens you, the exhale gets you further into the posture. Yes, there's a rotation of the right rib up, but we're also wringing out the midsection like a sponge. Come on up. And the B of that posture, we're going to bend that right knee again. Take the left elbow to the outside of the right leg. Stack the palms. And then look up to the sky if you can. Breathe. The full posture is the left arm can go to the floor. Exhale, come on out. Just wringing out the midsection like a sponge. Right leg is super straight, left knee is bent. Right elbow to the outside of the left leg. And stack the palms, just like that. Press your right elbow along the left knee. Maybe you come all the way to the floor. And keep the pinky toes down as you come on out. Inhale, exhale. So we always come back to what's called samasthitihi, a sense of just emptiness, a sense of space where you can create new things from. Exhale, open up to the side. So it's not too wide a stance. The feet are maybe just a little past your hips. Hands to the waist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, look up. Exhale, elbows bend out to the sides. Hands come to the floor. If you want to take tripod headstand. Now would be the time. Inhale, hands to the waist. Exhale, come on up. Inhale, hands back to the waist. Now you're going to keep them there and just fold in half. Breathe. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Keep keeping your shoulders wide, you know, not up to your ears. Reach the arms out again. This time you're going to interlace your hands behind you and fold in half again. Breathe. Oh, don't change the way I just changed. I just wanted to show you this angle. So the hands stay touching and just you get wherever you get. Shoulders back, 2. Lift the kneecaps, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, hands back to the waist. Last one, number 4. You're going to hold the big toes with your index finger and your middle finger. Inhale, exhale. A slight bend to the knees is good. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, hands to the waist, come on up. Inhale and back to Samasthiti. Good. Now in the Ashtanga tradition, there's one more forward bend, which we're going to skip. And we're going to find our way into balance postures. I love having this discussion with my yoga students because a lot of them say that balance postures are strength postures. Postures that we need to hike into. What if it was a sattvic posture, just a posture of surrender? So you can stay there in tree pose. Possibly you take your index finger and your middle finger. Hold the right big toe. Stand up nice and tall. Maybe you stretch the right leg out a bit or a lot a bit. So the full posture is the hips try to stay square. The right leg is strong. We're interested more in a standing leg being straight. You might bring your nose to the knee. Take the right leg open to the side. Inhale. Exhale. Back to the center. And let's balance. So wherever you were in the posture, you can hold something and then let go of the wall. Trying to make sure you're not leaning all the way back. And drop the right leg. Maybe you roll the shoulders. Even the most advanced of yogis are going to hold their breath at some point, my hunch is, and that would be it. Take hold of the left foot. You can dance around a little bit like your teacher. You can hold the wall. Whatever you can do to just breathe. I realized I didn't build it the way I built the first side. So we're going to inhale, exhale, take the right hand to the waist, hold the left toe with the left fingers, square the shoulders again, and get steady and calm. Maybe you bow forward a bit. Holding the wall is a great place to start. If you fall, you fall. And then you just start again. What I love about this practice, because it's the same thing every day, every day, every day, we get a way to be really, really humble. That which feels boring or that which feels too easy, it becomes clear that every day is a different day. Every side's a different side. Breathe. 2, 3, 4, and come on down. Roll the shoulders back. Okay, so this is a little trickier. We're gonna cross the right heel like over the left hip. Try to scooch your arms underneath for a moment and stand up really tall. That might be where you stay. You could hold a wall. You could take this and lay it on the crease, and then you can reach forward, holding a block, a pillow, the floor. And then maybe take the right arm behind you. Theoretically, it holds the right big toe. And then bow forward. Come up to the halfway. Come on up to standing and shift sides. So if you're not doing with all the extra steps, you might bring it in. Breathe. I'm just trying to show you from different angles, obviously. You would take hold of the toe and fold in half. And again, notice for yourself which side is different. I know that my right hamstring has gotten way too much use, so I keep a right bend in my right knee. Inhale, and I bend it to come on back up. Exhale. Closing the feet, samastitihi. Breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's all sorts of funky stuff we can do to get to the floor, but we're just going to take chair position and take 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and try to go right into Navasana. Breathe here. 1, 2, 3. Toes and eyes are the same height. 5. Exhale, lift up, hands. You're going to lift off the floor. Inhale, number 2. Breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to come down the mat a little bit. Lift up. And number 3. Breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Number 4. Breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift up. Exhale. Number 4. If I say it out loud, then 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lift. Exhale. I think that's the last one already. Last count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's come on to our left hip. We'll veer away from our Ashtanga sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the center. On the right hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the center. Drop the left toe and up. Left toe and up. Left toe up. If you need to figure out which body part this is, please write me. 3, 4, 5. Take both legs up. Try to grab hold of the toes. I always call it the yoga journal cover. Lift the nose to the sky. Look really happy. I mean, what isn't there to be happy about? Sun's shining. Well, here in Southern California. Exhale. Soles of the feet together. So the Ashtanga rules are you open the feet like a little book. Inhale, the first one you're going to lengthen and just tilt forward. Breathe. 1, 2, trying to keep the tailbone rooted to the floor. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, breathe. I'm going to turn again to the side so you can see what I mean. As soon as this tailbone lifts up, we want to step back. So yes, it's going to have a little space, but we're trying to keep it touching the mat somewhat. And then inhale, sit up tall. Take the crown of the head to the feet. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to steal from some of the second series positions. So we're going to keep the left leg like this. Draw your right leg straight. If you need to have a bend in the right knee, that's fine. And you'll know you need it if it hurts or if it feels like it's locking itself out. Sit up really tall. 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll notice it mirrors that standing balance position. Maybe you take it to the side, gaze on the shoulders. 3, 4, 5. Back to the center. And this, we just like this. We, meaning my yoga students and I, to stretch out the right hip. Take the left hand to hold the outside of the right leg. Stretch it across the body now. And hopefully you'll feel a stretch in this right side of the body, this right hip. And the more you twist, the more you take your right arm behind you, the better off you'll be. Inhale back to the center. Maybe take the nose to the knee. And take the left leg to meet the right. Breathe, breathe, breathe. This time try to bring the nose toward the knees. 2, 3. Inhale back to the V. Heel down and place it on the mat, just right by your perineum. Inhale, sit up tall. Breathe. 1, 2, reach the nose to the knee. 3, 4, 5. Take the left hand on the inside of the left foot. Gaze over the right shoulder. Breathe. 1, 2, 5. And cross the body, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. It really gets into that side. If you don't feel anything, it just means you're not tight, which is good. And come on down, breathe. So we'll reset, we'll do a little reset, that samasthiti. We're gonna try to take a cross of the shins, get really small, hands to the floor, lift your hips off the floor, and maybe swing your legs through. It just takes practice. Bend the elbows, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. All right, I'm gonna turn the music off for now. Inhale. The feet are gonna jump on the outsides of the hands. The hands are gonna walk underneath you. Then you're gonna sit, so squat into it, walk your feet together, and maybe stay just like that. Maybe you cross the ankles as well. I'm lifting my heart so much, I'm lifting my tailbone as though there's a little string from the ceiling, pulling my tailbone up, up, up. That way it's not as hard on my hands, and I can stay longer. Exhale, plant your feet, and maybe we'll try it again. So yes, you are on your wrist. There's nothing we can do about that. Inhale, let's take Balakasana. So the hands are on the floor. We're gonna be creating shelves, little shelves out of this left forearm and the right forearm. Inhale, lift onto those shelves. Another way to get into it is you think about a big beach ball. Come on up above it, lift, 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 just one foot, the other foot. Feel really light in the belly. Again, I feel like a little string from behind my belly, reaching me up, reaching me up. There's lots of things you can do from those arm balances. That's it. Let's separate the feet again. Reach the arms underneath you. Exhale, stretch the feet in front. And that would come from that other position, the frog position. But nice stretch for the inner thighs. So shimmying your arms underneath your thighs, just lift your chest. Maybe you lay the heart on the floor. And of course, there's lots of ways to move out of that in a fancy way, but we won't until we meet again, face to face. Inhale, bring your feet together, and we'll find our way down into some of the more cooling postures. This looks like tree pose, so the left leg is straight, the right knee is bent open to the side. Hips are square to the front of the mat, let's say, to the left foot. So even though the right knee is open, we're trying not to open to the right side, keeping that secure and straight. Inhale, reach toward the left foot. Exhale. I'm touching my nose to my shin, yes, but I'm trying to also keep the tailbone down. So it's no good if you can do that, but everything's off the floor. We're trying to root, anchor ourselves in the floor, anchor ourselves in the present moment, and then fold forward. So if that means that you go down less, well, there's the ego again. You just say thank you for coming, ego, and be wherever you are. Inhale. So we could do this chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog, in between each side. If we were really practicing the Ashtanga yoga tradition. If you don't want to do that, find downward dog, or don't do any of it and just change sides. The right leg is going to straighten, the left knee is going to bend just like tree pose. Again, we're going to square our hips to the right leg. Inhale, reach. I'm going to make sure my tush is on the mat. Exhale, fold. Now I'm trying not to let everything go on vacation again. I'm keeping my right knee working like gangbusters, pulling in, drawing my belly toward my spine, rounding this part of my tailbone, reaching the left leg down. Inhale. Maybe another way to just kind of do a reset would be plant your toes, lift your hips off the floor, come on down. So I don't normally talk this much in my classes. Well, I don't think I do. Left leg is going to straighten now. I'm going to call this the front of the mat. Marichyasana. So the right knee is bent to the ceiling, but it's the heel and the thigh have space. We're gonna reach our right arm on the inside. Scooch it so that the armpit goes around the shin. If that's just madness, just pause right there. No big deal. You can still live a very happy, fulfilling life. Maybe the right hip is gonna come up for this. You're gonna get a little bit lower on the shin, and then, this is the back, the front of that. I'm gonna try to clasp my hands. Again, if that's just silliness, just stay put. This is great. Maybe you reach the hands. Exhale. Yes, my right hip is off the floor, but I'm trying to have some awareness to keep it glued in. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna sit up tall. I'm gonna cross my shins and try to do a little lift up, and then change sides. Right leg's gonna straighten. Left armpit around the left shin. And then here I take the right arm behind me. Maybe I clasp. Inhale, exhale. And again, arms can stay right here. Let's see if we've got the music on. 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Let's try vinyasa from here. So hands to the outsides. I'm gonna try to lift up, come on down. Try it again. Lift up. Maybe scoot your feet through a little bit. Take your hands in front of you. Reach your feet back into plank. Let's pause here in plank for a moment. Do a little belly work. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift the right leg. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take the right knee to the right elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can take the left knee down, right leg back, and reach your right arm up to Vashisthasana, or you can stack the legs. 2, 3, 4, 5. Come into plank. Maybe bend the elbows and change sides. So the left leg's gonna come up. 1, 2. Stay in plank though, so the shoulders are over the wrist. 3, 4, 5. Left knee to the left elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe come to the knee and stack yourself. Into plank. Bend the elbows. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Walk your feet forward. So we're going to take Marichyasana, this pose again. C. So the right arm's going to go behind you. I know switch sides again. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. After a lot of forward bends and moving around, it's good to do twists. Twists are detoxifying, centering. Keep that elbow around. The full posture is you take the arm around the shin from the front. I'm taking my right hand back, and I mean, you can't tell because I could be cheating, but I'm not. I'm holding my right and my left hands. Breathe. 2. Gaze over the right shoulder. If that's, if you don't have a teacher around that can't toss your hands together, just practice sitting up tall, sitting up tall. And these days will end and we will all combine our forces again and meet up in a yoga room and I can help you. Right leg is going to straighten, left knee is going to bend, and I'll stay this way so you can see the class. Right hand reaches, I keep scooting as though I could get my right rib around my left thigh. Keep scooching, keep scooching, keep scooching. Then the right hand's going to come behind me and grabs hold. Breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, I'm going to pause for a moment in Navasana. Take 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is called strict Shavasana. The Ashtangis don't put it here in the practice, but we're going to just open our eyes, lie down, keeping your eyes open. You're very still much invested in your practice, but you're just doing a quick recollect, body scan, and then we're back. So you're going to turn your feet parallel like you're standing on them. We're always trying to practice Tadasana, mountain pose. Lying down here, reach the right leg up. Touch the small of the back to the mat. Inhale. Exhale, you might hold your right big toe with your index finger and your middle finger. Press your left hand at your left thigh. Lift the heart and chest off the floor toward the right thigh. Breathe 2. I'm using my belly muscles and my breath, not so much hiking my leg forward. I'm lifting toward the leg. Lie down, keep everything the same. Try to bring the right leg open to the right, but not by lifting the left hip. So I'm anchoring the left hip down with my left hand, as I would if I was in the room with you. And then open the right leg wherever it goes, it goes. It's not trying to head to the floor just because. If your neck is okay, the gaze, the drishti, is over the left shoulder. And then inhale, and just because I love my students, we like to stretch. We're going to take the left hand to the outside of the right, and then just let it cross the body. And wait for all the yummy cracks. You could take your right hand and massage out the right side of your body. Maybe a little fist into the hip, right shoulder down. And back to the center. Take both legs up. If you want to practice more belly work, you can lift the hips off the floor or just pause there. No one will know. That's the good news. Do whatever you want. Take the right leg down. Take the right hand at the right hip. Hold the left big toes and lift up. Breathe 1. Really glue this right hip down. 3, 4, 5. Lie down fully. Take this left leg all the way up into the side. Really press the right hip down. 2. Gaze is over the shoulder. 3, 4. Soften the ribs so we're not puffing everything out. 5. Back to the center. Cross the body. Let it feel good. Breathe. 1. And 2. Twist, twist, twist. 3. 4, 5. Back to the center. Inhale, rotate your feet out. And in. Soles of the feet together, Supta Baddha Konasana. So breathe in 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5. Setu Bandhasana. So the first one that we don't even practice that much in class, you're going to take your feet into a wide, like Charlie Chaplin first position. Lift the head to the crown of the head. Use your hands to help you. And just lift your head off the floor while keeping your feet down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on down. Just take your knees like little windshield wiper of your knees. Not so much windshield wiper. Right and left. Plant the feet. For this first back bend, we're going to take little fists and just glue them to your hips. Shoulders relaxed. Inhale, lift the hips off the floor. Press into the hips as well though. 1. Eyes at the nose. 2, 3. Hopefully all 10 toes are down. Your big toe side of your foot is heavy. 5. Come on down. Inhale. Maybe you take your hands behind you. Come to the head or just all the way up. Breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on down. If you know you can pop right into back bends, please feel free to do another one. Maybe you stretch out the sides. Otherwise, I'll talk us through it a little bit better by taking the hands here. And maybe you come just to the crown of the head. When I say just, I don't mean it to say that, oh, it's just easy. Only is what I should say. Maybe you only come to the crown of the head. So if you have somebody there and you could hold on to their ankles, that helps you. You could take 2 blocks and put them underneath your hands. You could take your hands against the wall. Otherwise, just practice reaching your hips up and come to the crown of the head. Inhale. And maybe everybody meet in one last bridge pose. 1. Plenty to be done here. The ribs are soft. Knees are sort of facing each other. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now those crazy Ashtangis, they take a backward somersault here. And they flip over. We'll just pause for a moment in this hold your knees position. Breathe 2, 3, and rock back and forth. Exhale back. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Then you'll straighten the legs forward. And this is your long, deep forward bend. Inhale. Exhale. 1 and 2. 3. And roll on down your spine. We'll try to roll right up into Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. So, however you best can, with a little bit of adrenaline, a little bit of energy, roll up, and then the work in the posture is to be able to breathe, to get the elbows in toward each other, and the palms flat on the top of the back. We're going to hold here about 15 breaths. Inward rotation of the thighs. Then we're going to take our toes behind our head. I'm going to move this first. Hold on. The toes come behind the head. If they don't touch the floor, again, no big deal. You can use a block, a chair, a person, a child, a cat. Take your knees by the ears and roll on down your spine. So you're going to let your legs come straight. Inhale, exhale, Matsyasana fish pose. So the full posture is the palms touch, the legs are lifted off the floor, eyes located at the nose, 2. But this is fine if you have back issues or just feel more secure. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to pause for a moment. And then you're going to inhale. We'll take eye of the needle. This is a pigeon posture. If you're in a seated position right now and you'd rather take eye of the needle sitting, you would take both legs underneath you like that. We're going to thread the right arm through the little window. Hold the right wrist with the left hand and pause. So write in if you don't feel it and I'll tell you what to do. But theoretically, you feel this immediately in your hips. That's pretty much only if they're tight. If they're not tight, you might just enjoy sort of a pretzel-y stretch. If you don't feel anything at all, flex your feet more. You could take your nose to your foot to investigate that experience. You can straighten your left leg, as some of my students do. You know who you are. Exhale. I encourage you to do this pigeon posture a lot through the day. You could do it at the dinner table, nobody has to notice. You could just, I don't know, in the morning, still in bed, this is a good one. Just to kind of go like this, the other side, and take the left heel now over the right heel, right knee, and breathe. Really set yourself up. You know, just like anything else, we need to set ourselves up for success. So you're going to pause, make sure your hips are in line. Left arm through the little window and breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you straighten the leg. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Again, I'm trying to investigate with some great care and curiosity the difference in the sides. Inhale, hold both knees into the chest. On the count of 3, you're going to sigh and just flop to Shavasana. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to sit up tall while you stay in your lying down position. We practice Shavasana, arguably the most important posture, so that we can experience rest while being awake and conscious and aware. So we can experience this sense of vacancy, of openness, of calm breath coming in and out, while we're awake. That way, when trouble happens and our body wants to tense up or go into fight flight, we have some options. We have some ability to react differently. We might go into fight flight and then we might go, oh, there's no tiger at my heel. I'm just upset about something, or, we may get some new news about something, and what can I do to remember how it feels in Shavasana, when my breath is really reaching, when I'm calm, when I know I'm in this community, this circle of people just like me, trying to breathe, with my palms facing the ceiling without any great effort, my ankles just turned out. My breath is just instinctive, I'm not laboring it, but there's openness, there's availability, there's space where there may have been constriction, freedom where it may have been locked. So if I were to adjust everybody in their Shavasana, I would press gently on the thighs, press your shoulders open. I might pull at your toes. So I'm saying these things so you can just do a little body scan, reminding your shoulders to be away from the ears, reminding the jaw to feel sort of like Novocaine, just hinged. Reminding the thoughts just to soften. Nothing to do in this moment. You have no power, control, responsibility, nothing. Your neck is nice and long, so if you notice your chin is jutted forward or too much down, make that adjustment. Your inner thighs are back down to your waist, your thighs turned out without any effort there, just the regular, normal, where your feet want to flop. And then I'd come back to my seat and maybe chant a little bit. Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You might want to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You might want to stretch the legs and the arms away from the legs. Getting yourself really, really long. And then turn out onto your right side, bringing everything to the center line in the fetal position, keeping your eyes closed. By the way, if you want to stay in Shavasana for the next 6 hours and, have that ability, so be it. Right in, let me know how that was. Exhale, a full exhale helps you sit up tall. Oh, the birds are out suddenly, calling. And then come to a sitting posture, and we are sitting just as we began. Maybe rub the palms together, keep that sense of inner heat, and a little tapping on the chest, the back of the neck. The tapping is a great way to release anxiety, great way to spread the feeling state around you. Exhale. Loosely translated, that chant is about the opposites. How this is holy and that is holy. That which we love and excite about and that which we want to stray away from. Sukha, dukkha, keeping everything in balance. knowing that there's room and a place and a need for both. So we'll inhale, close the right nostril. Close both, hold your breath. Exhale. Inhale. Hold your breath. Exhale. May there be peace above us and below us, to our left and to our right. May we learn to practice peace with care and curiosity, and always as best we can by example.